Hello again, welcome back to Junk Food Jack. If you didn't see my first video, which talks about the game itself and my journey in improving my speedrunning world records, then please watch that first. But if you have already seen it, then please strap in for some more peak Flash game content. In my last video I mentioned that the score itself doesn't serve an in-game purpose, other than the weekly leaderboard and the challenges that you could email to your friends so that they can try and beat your score. Unfortunately, on Flashpoint Archive there is no functionality for both of these things, meaning that those features have been lost to time. However, let's say it's 2005 and that we want to be both undefeated in the email challenges and the undisputed leader of the weekly leaderboard. And so, in this video we're going to be answering the following question. What is the maximum obtainable score in Junk Food Jack? Enjoy the video. Firstly, we have to establish what gives us points and the value that they give to work out our total. There are three ways that we can gain score in Junk Food Jack: the stars, the keys, and beating the game. Collecting a key always gives 1,000 points, so with 20 keys to collect, that gives us 20,000 points. Beating the game gives us an additional 20,000 points, taking our current total to 40,000. So far, so good. However, the stars are a bit more complicated, as each star colour has a different score value. Orange stars give 25 points each, white stars give 50, yellow stars give 100, blue stars give 250, and finally purple stars give 500 points each. Throughout the game there are 11 orange stars, 38 white stars, 65 yellow stars, 183 blue stars, and 122 purple stars. Therefore, the total score we get from collecting all of the stars is 275, 1,900, 6,500, 45,750, and 61,000 points respectively. Adding all of these onto our 40,000 from earlier, we can obtain a grand total of 155,425 points in Junk Food Jack. I counted the stars using the files that I decompiled for the last video, but I do also think it's important to mention that there are some rooms in the files which are inaccessible in-game. Despite this, it appears like there isn't anything in these rooms which could give any score. So, 155,425 points is still our goal. It is a bit sad that we won't be maxing out the score in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, but it's still a pretty big number, so it'll have to do. If you saw my previous video, you would think that the expected route we're going to take is just an all keys run with extra steps to collect every star. And you'd be right. But it's not all that simple to just collect every star. We now have to include challenging rooms throughout the game which we previously ignored, and other rooms force us to enter multiple times in order to collect everything. Both of these facts put us at risk of losing all of our lives, and so we'd have to start the run from the beginning. But I'll talk a lot more about those rooms when we get there. Since I spoke about each room in detail in my last video, and that most rooms are treated the same as an all keys run, I'll be following the route that I took in my successful run, highlighting the key differences between a max score run and an all keys run. Note that I said run, as in singular, because unlike the last video I am not committing myself to improving my time. Sorry for the minor spoiler. But, at the very least, you guys should have a decently obtainable world record if you want to beat my time. So good luck. You'll need it, because this run sucks. Cue the montage.
Oh. Uh-oh. Oh my god. Well. Ah, okay. Well, alright. Kinda careful because of that spoon. Jesus fucking Christ. I actually don't know. 2 lives, and it's technically possible. I have 1 life, and it's technically possible. Oh, well. Shit. Shit, I'm dead. Yep, I'm dead. Not good. Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. I made a silly mistake, but it's fine. Shit. Ah. Shit. I'm on 3 lives at this point. Why did I say anything? Right. Yeah, piss off. Just honestly, piss the fuck off. Shit. Not gonna lie. Okay, wait. Okay, well, that's fine. I knew it. I knew there was some danger. Fuck. Bruh. Ah, well, ain't that just peachy, you know? Alright, yeah, well, fucking, yeah, that's where I go. Oh, okay. I forgot that that can happen. What the fuck am I doing? This is bad. Fuck. That's bad. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed at that. That was dumb. That was really dumb, in fact, because that might have ruined this run. Ah, okay. Shh. Oh, no. Oh, that was... Oh, I hit my head on the ceiling. I forgot that there's invisible walls on the ceiling. Ah!
Anyway, with those failed runs out of the way, let's finally get started talking about my successful run and how I think it can easily be improved. After starting the game, we can very easily collect everything in room 1. Then, once we're in room 2, we grab this trio of stars and use these platforms to collect these 2 yellow stars while heading to room 4. Once we collect key 2, we head into room 6, and, after collecting key 3, we grab these stars and head up into room 7. Don't worry, we'll be collecting these yellow stars in room 2 and these white stars in room 6 later. After collecting everything in room 7 and 12, we then head down to room 11 and collect everything that we can. These yellow stars are currently unobtainable, so we will also be coming back for these later as well. Rooms 8, 9, 10 and 34 are essentially the same as an all keys run. The only real difference is that we have to collect all of these purple stars in room 36, our first new room for the run. After that, we drop down onto the bus in room 5 and collect all of these stars, as well as key 19. We now have all of the collectible keys in section 1, and now we just have to grab the missing stars in room 2 before moving on to rooms 13 and 42. Room 42 can be tricky because of these conveyor belts, but with a bit of practice, we can easily deal with this room without losing a life. After collecting these stars in key 7 in room 14, as well as all of the stars in room 13, we can finally pick up these 2 white stars in room 6 that I mentioned earlier. Afterwards, we then collect everything in rooms 15 and 16 without really any trouble. But now we reach another challenging room in room 17. This room gave me a lot of trouble in my runs, but the way I ended up handling this room was to wait for this cycle so we could safely collect this white star without losing a life. Then, it's just a case of dealing with conveyor belts whilst trying to go upwards. But now we reach our first significant roadblock of the run, room 18. You might be thinking, wait, this seems super simple. What's the issue? Well, the room below, room 37, has 5 sets of stars, 4 of which we can only collect by falling through room 37, which can also put us in danger of losing a life to a fortune cookie in room 19. Since we can collect these orange stars later, we have to enter this room a minimum of 4 times to collect every star. After falling from room 18 and room 37, we have to go from room 19 to rooms 14, 13, 15, 16, 17, and then finally back to 18. Yes, these rooms aren't that hard, especially if you've already collected everything so far, but just simply playing for a longer time means that we're more likely to make silly mistakes and lose precious lives, which I did in many of my attempts. After collecting these 4 columns of stars in room 37, as well as all the stars in room 19, we then head into room 20, which has a very challenging star. This yellow star forces us to very carefully platform on these 1 block wide conveyor belts with enemies in the way, meaning that if we misstep or mistime our jumps, then we can very easily lose another life or 2 here, which I did in many of my runs. The star on the left side, however, is very easy to get. Thank God for that. We then collect everything in room 39 and enter our second considerable roadblock of the run, room 41, the invisible room. This room fucking sucks. Like, I'm not joking, I hate this room. But we have to deal with it, so what's our plan? I have 2 monitors. So on my main monitor I can play the game, and on my second monitor I have a rough outline of the platforms in the room. This is not foolproof, as you can clearly see. So a good rule of thumb is that you can immediately run to this yellow star and jump to avoid the fly. After that, the room is pretty simple. However, we need to go through this exit and try to collect these yellow stars in room 11 without falling off the platform, like this. Unfortunately for me, I fell here in my successful run. I could have intentionally lost a life to respawn here, as it would have been faster to get back to room 19, but I instead chose to save my lives and walk the long way back, which leads to another big time save that you could have compared to my run. Remember, we only have 10 lives to work with. So, as a tip, if you're doing this run, you should only intentionally lose a life if you're confident that you don't need it. After eventually making our way back to room 19, we can enter room 21. Here we navigate through the house, picking up the stars and the keys. Then we collect the orange stars from room 37 that we left earlier, and make our way over the roof and onto the porch, collecting everything along the way. After being careful to not get ourselves accidentally stuck here, we head into room 23. Now, instead of quickly walking through like we would in the all keys run, we have to zigzag our way through to grab every star whilst avoiding these fast enemies. And now, after quickly grabbing everything in room 24, we are officially in the home stretch of the run. However, this leads to a challenging set of rooms, starting with room 25. The main difficulties are the tight spaces we have to avoid the enemies, and the extremely dangerous risk of getting ourselves caught in a death loop in room 28. Yes, I'm still salty about that. After losing a couple lives in room 26 from missing some jumps, and wasting some time from getting myself glitched into the wall in room 28, I eventually grab everything and move on to room 29, the true challenge of the run. This room is why I kept saying that we'd need lives for later. The stars on the left hand side of the room are fine, apart from this one orange star, as we have to try to not accidentally jump into the rabbit. The top right isn't too bad either, but it does require some careful timing to safely obtain these yellow stars. But now we have to deal with the big issue in the room, the alcove in the bottom right. This rabbit here is faster than us, so there is very little time to spare for us to safely grab these 2 stars and leave. Yet somehow, despite all of that, I managed to get through this room without losing a life. Barely. That was too close. We made it past the hardest bit of the run, but we aren't done yet. This purple star in room 30 is barely obtainable and also requires some careful timing, as we don't want to accidentally impale ourselves on this fork. But from this point onwards we are essentially done with the run. I did make a mistake and lost a life in room 31, but thankfully I had some to spare because I didn't lose any in room 29. And after that, the final 2 rooms, rooms 32 and 35, are the same as usual. So I'll let Past Me take it from here and finish the run.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Please. Please. Please don't say I've missed anything. Oh my god. Why do I feel like I've missed a lot?
And now we've finally beaten the game with a grand total of 155,400 points. Wait a minute, we're missing 25 points from our total earlier. What happened? Why is this the successful run? Well, let's go back to earlier in the run, where I glossed over rooms 8, 9, 10 and 34. Notice anything in particular in room 9? No? That's because I've hidden it in the footage. It turns out that we still have this singular orange star in the corner here. At first glance, this seems like a relatively easy star to collect. However, quite annoyingly, this ceiling is just too low to allow us to jump over without hitting our heads and falling back into room 8. Believe me, I've tried. A lot. I've also spent hours trying to glitch myself through this platform to fall onto the star, but nothing worked. So for now, this star is just completely unobtainable without a new glitch being found, putting our max obtainable score to 155,400. Sorry for the bait and switch, and the disappointing fact that we're just 25 points off of our theoretical total. But this does still answer the question from the start of the video. With 155,400 points, your friends would not be able to beat your challenges, and you would just be able to rule at the top of the weekly leaderboard. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I can't stress enough how just watching this far into the video is a massive help for the channel. But if you want to show any additional support, then please feel free to like, subscribe and share this video with your friends. Also, the max score run, despite its sloppiness, is technically my 3rd world record, taking a total time of 24 minutes and 20 seconds. If anyone wants to watch the full run, it's linked down below in the description. This is probably the final Junk Food Jack video I'll make, at least until any cool new glitches are found or until someone makes a significant improvement to any of my free world records that's interesting to talk about. So if you guys have any suggestions for what game I should make a video on next, then feel free to leave a comment and I'll review any suggestions. I do already have a few ideas for the next couple videos, so depending on how long a requested video may take, I may release a different video first. just for a consistent upload schedule. So don't worry if the chosen video takes a little while to release. But anyway, thank you all again so much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.